Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, government makes U-turn on mass testing. No Harambe for street vendors. Kause's family evicted again. And NSSC donates 4.8 million Namibia dollars to NIP.
Government says it will not be able to conduct the 200,000 tests for COVID-19 as such an exercise will take up to 5 years to complete. After initially deciding to carry out 200,000 tests for COVID-19 countrywide, government has now changed that figure to 60,000 over the next few months, as according to them, is more realistic at the current pace. So far, 2,011 people have been tested for COVID-19 since the first case was confirmed in March.
200,000 would have taken us quite a long time to do testing. We had to review it downwards, which is not abnormal, obviously. In a situation like that, sometimes you get the figures, but you realize it take a long time to reach that figure. And if you look at the resources available, and also seeing the cost effectiveness of that, learning from elsewhere in the world, we realized that we need to scale it down. Initially, we were looking at 100,000 as well, but we may, during the state or the period of state of emergency, test either maybe 100,000 if we're lucky, or maybe even less. But the policy will come out very soon from the Minister of Health and the ED as to what exactly will be viable in the next 3 to 4 months, which is the duration of the state of emergency. But if anything else comes up along the way, whether in terms of logistic, target we want to achieve, new data, we will revise it. There's just no problem with that at all.
Namibia only has 16 confirmed cases to date and has gone over 30 days without recording a new case. Ofiku says the country has done well in containing COVID-19, but the Southern African region has still not reached the peak when it comes to infections.
Countries such as South Africa could be somewhere near the peak if you look at the number already infected and the number they have testing. But surely not a country like Namibia. I mean, we're just starting our winter, and this disease tends to thrive in winter. As much as we have very less cases, we can't say we have reached the peak. We have to do a whole lot of things, to make sure that we now on the peak, and we have to descend. One of the positive things we can now confirm is that we don't have community transmission taking place at the moment, but it doesn't mean that there will be no community transmission. The risk is still there, and that's why we have to keep our guard. We have to remain ready. We have to maintain all the social distancing and have to have the border closed if we have to keep the success rate we have achieved. Otherwise, things can always be reversed, and when they are reversed, they can actually be better than one would anticipate.
Calls have started to reverberate for informal traders to reopen as well as places of worship. A local bishop from the El Seren Church said government should be commended for efforts that have proved effective.
It is difficult for our people to understand those type of decisions taken. It's hard on us, but it is for the good of and for the health of the people of Namibia. The government has to reconsider the basic income grant which the ELCRN has been promoting over the past years. It is temporarily, it is helpful temporarily, but if we have something in place that can help the nation continuously, that is my take.
The special advisor urged Namibians not to let their guard down when it comes to preventative measures, as government is doing its best to curb the spread of the disease.
It's not like it used to be. We all used to share tafel with our friends and family. Something has come and made those spirits so much harder to lift. But we have hope. We see the Namibian spirit in a nation working together from a distance to make a better country. We can't wait for this to pay off. And when it does, we'll be excited to bring the smooth taste of Namibia's finest to people who have truly earned it. Tafel made of Namibia.
Windhoek-based street vendors have been living without any form of income since the country went into lockdown due to the novel coronavirus. Street vendors are considering committing crimes so that they can go to prison and receive free food.
I used to sell in town ShopRite. Since lockdown, I'm not paying the renting, and the owner wants the money. He just gave me 1 month, only this month. Next month I have to move out, and I don't know where to go. Maybe I have to move out and die with the winter, or maybe I have to go with my kid to the prison and stay there. Maybe there I can eat and sleep there.
Now since the lockdown came, we are not working, and our life now is very difficult. I'm having 12 kids in the house. We don't have any food. We don't have anyone who's working in the house, and I'm having a kids who used to go to IUM, and I used to pay myself that money. She didn't get any loan. I used to pay every month 4,000.
We was applying for looming permit for a long time. That was a permit for us. We can go anywhere as a street vendor. But now, when we can see it is there in a bylaw for us, we can be welcome to applying for a looming permit. But since now, this time we are not yet any for further information, or we can welcome to receive it or to get it a looming permit.
Namibian Informal Sector Organization Secretary General Joseph Kandenge said that they are trying to engage government to find solutions to the vendors' problems.
From the side, mostly from the side of government at the local authority level, the municipal level, and the police level, mostly the local authority level, there is no strategy currently where we are included to discuss these matters on how we can address them. So we would like to call on the Minister of Local Government and Housing and local government and housing and the municipalities to put up a forum where we can discuss speedily how we can open these businesses. We also, at the same time, are suffering also on the other side, because also we have workers who are working for us who are affected. These people need to be paid. I think we know the Labour Act.
Namibia Housing Action Group Director added that they have waived the interest on the housing loans for the vendors in order to assist them.
Most of the informal traders, they are members of the shack dwellers. Most of them, they have home loans which they have to pay. What we have done as an organization, we have waived interest, and we have also asked them to pay to contribute what they have. What we have been doing is to work with the local authorities, and communities have offered their services by forming part of committees to support the informal traders by assisting them, creating awareness by making sure that there is social distancing.
Shack Dwellers Federation of Namibia National Facilitator Edith Mbango stated that women street vendors are the breadwinners in their homes, but with the current situation, many have been sidelined.
Many of our members, because this federation is encourage the people, empower the women to start doing things for themselves so that they can still have their own living. So it even affects now whenever people they don't have income anymore. And I understood even the markets that was being said that they can start. Some of them they didn't start yet, but in the far north, I think it's in far progress. in other towns is still a problem. They cannot even pay their loans.
Other vendors that were present at the meeting are asking for government officials to go without a salary for 2 months to feel what they are going through.
In these tough times, we're still here for you with our Spar Winner Car competition. Get 2-litre Spar Extended Shelf Life milk for only $29.99 and Spar Margarine Brick for just $13.99. Any participating product you buy is another entry to win one of 3 Hyundai Grand i10s when you swipe your Spar Rewards card. Spar, always here for you.
Thelma Gauses and her family were once again evicted from the same house they were asked to leave more than 2 years ago. This time, the property owner locked the premises with 2 grannies still inside. The house situated in Katutura's Damara location was allegedly bought in 2017 by Leonard Gausep, the grandson of Martha Gauses. Since then, Leonard has been trying to get the occupants, including his grandmother, to vacate the premises and make way for new tenants, says Thelma Gauses, the granddaughter of Martha Gauses.
He said, I want to help my grandmom not to lose the house, so I will extend the house so you guys can put tenants in because you guys are not working, you don't have stable jobs, so that you can pay the house through from the tenants. That's what he said, and we all agree on that. We didn't agree that he has to go change the name, or we didn't agree that he is going to buy the house as he is claiming he bought the house for 50,000 or so.
Leonard told Today on One in 2017 that he wants everyone to leave except his grandmother. He feels they are overcrowding the house and misusing the facilities.
Apparently, City of Windhoek sent him an SMS about the bill on the house. But in 2017, as you guys were also here, there was no electricity, there was no water. He cut everything in February month. Yeah, he stopped everything at the municipality. How can we pay the things that we are not having and that we are not using?
The evictees say they won't leave and have decided to camp outside until Leonard allows them back in.
Yeah. We are prepared to sleep outside. We will sleep in the street. We will make a fire right there.
A next-door neighbor finds Leonard's actions unforgiving and wonders how the evictees will survive outside, especially during winter.
When I moved in next door, all of them were young, even that guy who is busy evicting his family. It's that old lady and her eldest sister who up until now sells bread and stuff to feed the family. Now he wants to kick them out.
Thelma Gauses said that she has called for help from authorities, but all she got was an option to buy back the property, which she feels is impossible as she and the other evictees are unemployed. They are now calling on Good Samaritans to come to their rescue.
Hello and welcome to Sport Africa. The BBC's new weekly show will explore the big sporting issues and questions, like why Africans aren't winning medals in the pool.
I just think it's their mindset.
Meeting established and rising stars.
I could be the Nigerian first Grand Slam winner.
And at the heart of it will be you, the fans, with your passion, your opinions, your stories, and even tests of your sporting knowledge. Go beyond the game with BBC Sport Africa.
The Social Security Commission donated 4.8 million Namibia dollars to the Namibia Institute of Pathology as part of the nationwide fight against the novel coronavirus pandemic. In his remarks, the chairman at NIP noted that the funds donated will be utilized to procure reagents and necessities for approximately 8,695 tests. The chairman of the Namibia Pathology of Institute, Brian Aseb, is confident that his organization will be ready for testing COVID-19 cases with a donation, as well as decentralizing testing to other regions.
I can report that the total tests that the NIP has conducted so far, as of yesterday, was 1,319 tests. This excludes retesting conducted on positive cases for monitoring and repeat testing on cases. With the donation of that the NIP received today, we will be able to procure reagents and necessities for approximately 8,600 tests. With the donation of the Social Security Commission and the reagents and necessities that we will be able to procure, we will also be able to decentralize testing to other regions, which includes cities like Rundu, Oshakati, Walvis Bay, Katima Mulilo, Keetmanshoop, and Walvis Bay.
Manager of Corporate Affairs at NIP said that the NIP is facing challenges of acquiring reagents, which is currently not allowing the NIP to conduct mass testing yet, as part of the strict measures put in place by the head of state is affecting exports into the country. He, however, indicated that their operations were not highly affected.
So in terms of testing wise, we have a capacity of testing 160 tests per day now. But with the rolling out, obviously the testing capacity will then increase. And then looking at the target of what the ministry would like to achieve by the end of August. The machines are there, the high throughput machines. We do have high throughput machines. The problem at this moment in time is getting the reagents into the country, because there are restrictions in terms of countries where these reagents are being produced. They have restricted them in terms of export. So that is the biggest challenge that we're sitting with now. The machinery is available, but in terms of getting the reagents into Namibia, it remains a problem. And also with logistics and all of that. So the countries where these reagents are being produced are first focusing on satisfying the need in country before they then export to other different countries. At the current moment in time, it really hasn't negatively impacted. What it just means is that we cannot then get the targeted capacity which we would like to have, because the equipment is available. And you also know that even in terms of getting masks and other medical supplies, that is a big challenge. So we have the equipment. If we can get the reagents in, we will definitely be able to even boost the capacity even further.
During the donation handover, the executive officer at the Social Security Commission, Milka Mungunda, announced that apart from the donation to the Namibia Institute of Pathology, the Commission recently donated sanitary facilities to the informal settlements in Windhoek as part of the nationwide fight against the novel coronavirus pandemic.
Let's talk about the coronavirus outbreak here in Africa. How do you get people to regularly wash their hands when water is scarce? How do you get people to work from home when majority of Africans work in the informal sector?
People are dying and suffering.
More importantly, how do you get a vibrant and dynamic continent to stop in its tracks? Welcome to The Breakdown, BBC Africa's COVID-19 special program, helping you make sense of the crisis.
In other leading stories, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism announced that all productive activities are allowed to operate with strict health measures since the country entered stage 2 of the COVID-19 state of emergency, with tourism and hospitality included in this category of productive activities. Tourism operations, specifically accommodation establishments, guest houses, bed and breakfasts, lodges, backpackers, campsites, restaurants, and transport are allowed to operate. The specific regulations are still to be gazetted. However, the ministry encourages the sector to observe social distancing and hygiene protocols already in place. The ministry recognizes that since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism and hospitality sector has been particularly hard hit. The sector is suffering significant losses of income in the country and losing revenue and employment opportunities. However, in the short term, restrictions are critical to ensure the health of Namibians so that in the long term, confidence in Namibia as a destination for future travel is maintained. And Walvis Bay Salt Refiners is one of the few companies that were fortunate to stay afloat during the COVID-19 fight. The company gave back to the Walvis Bay community by donating basic food to the needy. Walvis Bay Salt Refiners is the largest producer of Solus sea salt in the sub-Saharan Africa and produces Solus sea salt by pumping seawater from the Walvis Bay Lagoon. About 80% of the company's salt production is shipped to various international markets, mainly in Africa, Europe and the Americas. As salt production forms part of essential services, the demand from all over the world kept the company in business. The company was allowed to operate during Stage 1 lockdown with much concentration on strict precautionary measures against the spread of COVID-19. Irango Regional Governor Neville Andre Emmanuel applauded the company for playing its part in taking care of the community. The company recently inaugurated a new salt processing plant of more than $93.6 million in February.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. The Regional Council for Walvis Bay Urban Constituency, Noliji Pinge, has introduced an online movement permit that he uses for monitoring and contact tracing purposes for people visiting his office as a measure to curb the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in the Irongo region. Marcus said finally they have a councillor who is understanding and not only those that announce food distribution on the radio. Shiwalo said Walvis Bay urban future is in good hands. Jennifer said power to the youth, fresh minds and youthful councillors is needed for the future. Shay said this is the reason why youth must make up the majority of voters. Just by listening, you can see that this is top-class leadership. The Ministry of Health and Social Services and partners have made provision for over 400 persons in need of shelter to be housed at the Khomasdal Soccer Stadium and the Katutura Youth Complex for the duration of the state of emergency period. The ministry is also in consultation with stakeholders on reintegrating the homeless back into society by the end of September 2020. Indy questioned how, when Namibia don't have enough psychologists or psychiatrists to meet the demand of the number of people that need rehabilitation. Titi Rose said there are church buildings available. Why not accommodate them there as well? Linky said they want to get rid of the homeless in a polite and nice manner. Caroline said homelessness was a serious problem before COVID-19 and government should take it serious. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today on One.
Catch your favorite local music show on One Africa Television every Friday evening, now at 9 o'clock, and the repeats on Saturdays at 5:30 and Tuesday evenings at 9:30.
A look at the weather forecast. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and warm to hot. The coast partly cloudy and mild to warm with fog patches in the extreme south, and the wind moderate to fresh southwesterly. Now we'll look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.